Good morning. Hello, hello. Let's see if I can get this situated. I guess it's okay if you look at bricks. It's okay. Hi. So today's video is, I'm Kelly Snow. Welcome to Under the Junk. And this is where we're going to explore our inner journey together, find our true and authentic selves, and live with and in as much personal freedom as we can get. Well, it's really dependent on your willingness because there's no limits. The limits are governed by you. And so you can only get as far as your thinking and your belief system will allow. And so that's what I want to talk about today is thinking. Because if we haven't worked on our awareness and what thinking actually is, then we get swept away by it. We identify with it, and then we become our thoughts. And I know everyone has met somebody like that, where they're talking to themselves and they're grumbling, or they're just not there when you're talking to them, or whatever the scenario is. I think everybody's met somebody that is swept away by their own thoughts and their own opinions and their own judgments, and there's just no getting through. Okay, so I think everybody's met somebody like that. So what we do then is we reflect objectively about when we do that. And so from your own pure experience, you can look at your thoughts then and examine for yourself what they actually are. Keep a journal if you want to prove it to yourself through your own experience what your thoughts actually consist of. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I found, and then you go look and see for yourself and put it in the comments. And then we can have discussion in the Under the Junk group too. There's a link there for it's on Facebook. So we can have further discussion and, share our journey with each other and stuff. So anyways, so my thoughts, and most people's that I've worked with, thoughts are, well, first, they're worries about the future. Yeah. And second, there's the past. Regrets and worry and what I should have said and what I should have done, or, they cheated me, or, they did this to me and they did that to me, and da-da-da-da-da-da's. Right? Okay? So if we sit all day long and we're thinking about our story and how the story is my life, and this is what happened, and this is how old I am, and this is what happened to me, and, this is who I am. If you ask someone, they'll say, well, I'm this age, this is what I do for a living, and, sometimes when you're first date or, just first meeting somebody, you find out all kinds of stuff, what happened to them and blah, blah, blahs. Okay. So if you're not careful, you start identifying with the stories of the past. And you're not allowing yourself to live in the current situation, whatever it might be, because you're consumed by what happened yesterday, could be last week, could be a year, could be 10 years on the same subject. So we can see that thinking is not who we are, that thinking comes from undealt with emotional trauma, and it comes from worry about what's going to happen next. And it comes from what else? Comes from opinions and judgments are the other things that my thoughts are swept up with. What I think about this, what I think about that, what I think about the government, what I think about religion, what I think about myself, what I think about her, what I think about him, what I think about all this. My opinions about everything. And then once I have an opinion, then I start getting preferences. And then the preferences are there. And you think, oh, well, I like this, I like this, I like that. This is me and my personality and my identity. And this is who I am. Right? Right? Okay, so basically then, thoughts are keeping you from, well, I'll use the words because that's what everybody's saying right now, the now, it's keeping you from today and what might happen today. And sometimes what might happen today, you might think something about it and it's not the case. How many times has that happened? Lots of times. Oh, my doggy, he's scared now. It's okay. It's okay. So, if you can, hold on, my doggy. If you can, it's okay. Spend some time recognizing and raising your awareness to see where your thoughts are going during the day, and recognize that your thoughts aren't who you are, and you can recognize that you don't have to identify with them, and you can see from your own life experience that your mind goes on and on and on, even when you're asleep. Yeah. So even when you're not conscious, your mind still runs, right? And it's talking about, all kinds of stuff. And you can change your mind, right? If the argument's good enough, you can change your mind. And then all that stuff you just worried and thought about doesn't mean anything because you changed your mind. The mind is fickle. And it can't be trusted because it's a recollection of the past. It's an opinion formed by years of social programming It's, a personal value that you have that maybe someone else doesn't because of your, socialization, your school, your religion, your parents, all that stuff. And so we can recognize then that our differences in opinions don't really add up to much. Because it's only a reflection of our background. It doesn't mean anything. So let's take away the thoughts then. Let's take them away for a few minutes and see, are you still there without your thoughts? What is there without your thoughts? So let's sit together and let the thoughts go by without giving them so much attention. And just let it rattle on and on. Okay? And what you'll find is, once you don't give them so much importance, then they kind of start fading away. And you can have a more objective view on the world rather than your little minuscule view. You get a broader perspective, objectivity. So, without your thoughts, what's there? If your thoughts don't mean anything, then you're left with body sensations, fine. And if you don't prescribe any meaning to anything, like we've been told, well then, all of a sudden, your mind opens up, your heart space can open up, and suddenly you're not defensive anymore. Because if nothing means anything, then there's nothing to defend against. It only means something if you attach a meaning to it. And the only meaning you can give it is based on your background, but the next person's background's going to be different. So your meaning isn't going to be the same. So you and your thoughts and your opinions and your judgments about things can be swept away, and then you're left with pure what? If there's no thoughts in there, then what's there? And that's the real you. You can sit in this stillness and this quiet, and should anything come, then that is true wisdom. Wisdom doesn't come from thinking. Wisdom comes from revelation, it being revealed to you, whatever the scenario is. True sight comes from no judgments and opinions and accepting what's already here. If you're not accepting of what's already here, then you're basically telling God it's not good enough. And God, meaning the source of all things, that it could be, you know, everybody calls it something different. So my meaning is, you know, the unknowable, the formless, the ultimate, you know, source of everything. Doesn't care what your opinion is about things. So you can rest and lay down all of that stuff and find the deepest rest within your soul there, allowing things to be as they are without fighting it. Who are you to judge what's out here? It's a world of manifestations. Life is a buffet. Unless you think it's not. So your thoughts are subjective. So I'd love to hear your comments, and come over to group and comment, or in the comment section, and I'll get back to you.